Hi Kestrels, welcome to Wednesday's Talk for Writing session. So today your learning objective is to describe a setting using detail. This means we're going to have to draw on all of our knowledge and learning that we've learned and been doing over the last 2 days. So on Monday, where you were looking at the Never Have I Heard grid in the vocabulary, and thinking about yesterday's where you were starting to think about putting that vocabulary into your own sentences. Again, a paragraph all about fear and suspense. So what we're doing today is going to be writing a paragraph, again, that could fit within a tale of fear. We're not going to be copying anything out from Fowler's Yard. Okay, today you're going to be choosing your own setting. So I've had to think about my setting that I want. I want to think of something that's a little bit scary. Not too scary, okay, it's up to you how scary you want to go. But I've decided I want to choose something that is maybe a little bit isolated, a little bit remote, and I've chosen that I would like it to be this barn. And I've also chosen what the weather's going to be like outside as well. So I'm going to put that in front, ready for helping me picture that. So I've chosen a barn. It's remote. The word remote means that there's nothing else surrounding it. So it's alone. It's derelict, okay, which means that it's not in pristine condition anymore. It's old, it's probably not used anymore, it's been abandoned possibly. We've got really dark clouds, okay, we've got lightning coming down, so thinking about the weather that's also going to make it unsettling for anyone that might be there. I'm also then going on to think about inside, because we've got an outside of a setting, and if we've got a building, we might have an inside. So again, I thought of my inside setting. You can do the same as what I've done, which is think about a setting and maybe have a little research for some images of it. So then I've done inside my barn. Again, it's dark, but it has got the cracks in the wood, which is exactly what my barn here has on the outside. So I'm going to be writing a paragraph to describe this setting. I'm not going to have a character there. I'm not going to have any speech, and I'm not writing a story. I'm going to write one paragraph that is going to describe this setting. So I need to think about what is in my barn. From the picture I've chosen, there's not really a lot in my barn. Okay, it's been abandoned, so there's some leftover things. The floor looks dirty, there's some beams, there's some sort of old metal pens, there's a ladder. There's lots of cracks in the side of it, like I say, because it's not been very well looked after. So then I need to start putting my ideas together. So it's a tale of fear. I want to build that suspense. I want to talk about the weather. So I'm going to draw on my ideas for Fowler's Yard. So you should have already read through it. You should have been using your actions that you did with your story map to go alongside it, so that you're starting to memorise the structure of this tale. But we're not copying out, we're thinking of our own. So I've chosen a barn. You don't have to. You could choose a haunted house, an abandoned school. Okay, we're just obviously not going to choose a lovely hot summer's day on a nice beach. Okay, so it's making sure that we're fitting our setting into the tale that we want to write about. So if you remember before Christmas, we did a losing tale. And with that losing tale, we also built suspense, and we did that by different features. One feature that we used was outside, inside, if you remember. What's the weather like outside? What's it like inside? And that really helps the reader to understand what's happening in this environment, in this setting. So I'm going to start my paragraph thinking about outside, if you remember. So outside. Remember, you are going to need your capital letter, okay, and your comma after your sentence opener. Outside, well, I've already pictured mine, and like I say, you want to research and get some images for yours, otherwise it is tricky. But I'm thinking outside, well, what's happening outside? It's very dark, it could be raining, it's probably windy, it's probably, or I can see lightning, so I know that it thunders and lightning's often together. So I'm going to say outside, the thunder, the thunder, what I want a good verb. And I want a verb that's going to personify the weather. So obviously, we're people, and when we personify something, we give something that's not like a human characteristics. So I'm going to say outside, the thunder groaned. And groaned is something that us humans do, particularly when we're not in a very good mood. So the thunder groaned. And lightning I could say flashed, but again, I want that personification. I want to think, what is it that people do? And I'm thinking of blinking. So I'm going to say outside the thunder groaned and lightning blinked. Obviously, we don't think that lightning actually can blink like humans do, but blinking is that on-off effect of light, like lightning does. So outside the thunder groaned and lightning blinked. So both groaned and blinked are verbs that humans do, and that's that personification. And then if I've done outside, now I'm thinking about inside. So I've got my outside image and I've spoken about the weather. Inside, I've already spoken about all these cracks in the wood of the barn. So I'm going to say inside, again, capital letter. Inside, I don't just want inside comma this time. I want to say inside what? I've not actually told anyone what my setting is yet, and this is where I need to do that. So inside the barn is a little bit boring. I want to think, you've already done your expanded noun phrase spag work this week, so inside the remote, abandoned. So inside the remote, abandoned barn. Remember, all of that is my sentence opener, so I'm going to be putting a comma after that. So inside the remote, abandoned. Remote meaning there's nothing around it. Abandoned meaning nobody lives there anymore or uses it. Barn. The wind. Ooh. Doesn't look like a very pleasant day. I'm going to say the ice cold wind. Howled is the verb I'm going to choose. Howled through the cracks. I'm picturing my inside of my barn. It's not a pristine barn. So inside the remote abandoned barn, the ice cold wind howled through the cracks. Howled through the cracks. In the... I don't want to say in the wood. That's a bit boring. Again, that expanded noun phrase, using those adjectives. Howled in through the cracks in the damp, because the weather would mean it's obviously not dry, so damp. And when things get damp, sometimes wood gets rotten. So damp, rotten, wooden panels. So far I've got outside the thunder groaned and lightning blinked, inside the remote abandoned barn, the ice cold wind howled through the cracks in the damp, rotten wooden panels. So I'm building that and I'm describing a setting in detail. I've got no character and I don't have anything else, no speech because I've got no character. I'm just describing a setting. I want to be using that vocabulary as well from Monday. So I'm going to have a look back at our list of words that we had to think and identify and find definitions for. And I'm thinking the word barbed and possibly the word coil I might be able to put together. So I'm going to say, because barbed means something sharp, and we've got coiled as well, where we've obviously got something that's wrapped up a bit like a spring. Okay, so I'm then going to say barbed wire, again a capital letter. Barbed wire, coiled. Coiled, rusted, in the corner. Of the dilapidated, I want to use. I'm challenging myself with a word that maybe I don't use a lot. So, barbed wire coiled, rusted in the corner of the dilapidated barn. I wonder whether you've actually ever heard of the word dilapidated. And it means that something's decayed or it's partially sort of ruined. And that's what this barn is. It's been left to rot, so it's not there very well. So I've got outside the thunder groaned and lightning blinked. Inside the remote abandoned barn, the ice-cold wind howled through the cracks in the damp, rotten wooden panels. Barbed wire coiled, rusted in the corners of the dilapidated barn. So I'm really getting the setting. It's not really a place that I'd like to be at the moment. I'm going to take these down for a moment so that I can go up to the top of my board and continue my paragraph. And I'm just maybe going to write another sentence with you, and then, obviously, you will be able to go on and write your own. Again, I want to have another sentence opener. I'm going to look at my I space, and I'm going to think, I'm going to take a conjunction. So I'm going to say here, continuing, as the, oh, I don't want that, as the wind, I've already said that. I can use a pronoun, and I can say, as it fell silent. What do I need after my fronted adverbial and my sentence opener? That's right, I need a comma. So, as it fell silent, a harsh, and I'm going to go up here because I've run out of space at the bottom of my board, a harsh rasp echoed. I like that word. I'm not saying that it's just echoed, means that sound is travelling as well. I'm going to say echoed through. I don't want to say the barn again because I've mentioned that a couple of times. I want to think, where's that sound echoing? Is it travelling upwards? And maybe at the top of my barn, I'm going to have my rafters. And how can I describe those rafters, those wooden beams that are holding that roof structure? Obviously, it's not a very sound structure, so I might say, through the crumbling rafters. And then, for now, I've written my 3 sentences. Okay, obviously I expect you maybe to write a couple more, at least 5 sentences, for your paragraph to tell me and describe a setting to me. I've chosen a barn, a remote barn, an abandoned barn, but you don't have to. You can choose whatever you'd like. Again, don't copy Fowler's Yard, that's that text. I want to see your ideas. But can you pick out any words from that word sheet? As I've said, I've used barbed, I've used coiled, I've used rasp. So this vocabulary that I've learnt this week, I am then putting straight into my writing, which is really important. And also challenging myself with those additional words that are a bit tricky, abandoned, dilapidated, and actually challenging with those word choices. Using that personification, groaned, blinked, bringing that barn almost to life. But no characters, no speech, just a setting description. I look forward to reading yours. Good luck. Make sure that you have read through Fowler's Yard to remind yourself of it with that story map, looked at the word sheet, made sure you've found the definitions correctly, research a setting so that you have a really good idea, just like I did with my barn. Okay, can't wait to read it.